to the one-day user awareness program and access to e-resources. Jointly organized by Central Library, Central Institute of Tamil Nadu and INFLIBNET Center. The program will start with inauguration function followed by the technical session. Now I request all the dignitaries and delegates to rise for Tamil Nadu. Different publishers and vendors through e-source syndrome. The approximate cost spent around more than 1.5 crores per user. The INFLIBNET Center has developed the usage portal called INFLIStats. It is monitoring the usage statistics of various e-resources provided to the member universities. As per INFLIStat calculation, CUTN crossing more than 45,000 usage among till today. Now, CUTN total publications are nearly 1,000 with CUTN affiliation. In Scopus, we have 305 publications and H-index is 23. The input of resource accessing is more, then the research output will become more. We would like to increase the usage of e-resources. In this purpose, Central Library organizes this user awareness program on access to e-resources. With this introduction, I would like to invite Dr. S. Dalavandan, Deputy Librarian, Central Library, Central University of Tamil Nadu, and organizer of this workshop to deliver the welcome address.
விலங்கோடு மக்கள் அணையர் இளங்கனோடு கற்றோரோடு ஏனையவர். Most respected registrar, respected deans, students welcome, respected dean, School of Communication, Sri Ashok Kumar Rai, scientist from INFLIBNET Center, Gujarat, Dr. Illavadagan, Chief Librarian and Information Officer from Indian Institute of Management, Trichy, and my well-wisher Dr. Senior Retired Librarian, Anna University, Dr. S. Gopalakrishnan, Dr. Tamilchelvan from Gandhigram University, Librarian, and all the library professionals from various universities, teaching faculty members of Central University of Tamil Nadu, non-teaching members and administrative staff of CUTN, and library staff members. So, very good morning and a warm welcome for this one-day user awareness program and access to e-resources jointly organized with INFLIBNET Center, Gujarat. So, there is no asset like knowledge. There is no poverty like ignorance. Library is not only the source of information, it's a knowledge center. Yes, our library, Central Library, we have lot of resources, lot of collections, lot of services we offer. For example, in the year 2017-18, we have made many initiatives like within a year we have increased nearly 7,500 printed books. We have created newly different sections like reference section, competitive exams, that is career guidance section, own books reading section, periodical section with 150 periodicals. From this year onwards, we are subscribing for the all disciplines. In the year 2017, we have subscribed 11 resources and some databases, including 18 resources for the Central University of Tamil Nadu. But due to the decision taken by the MHRD, the policies changed by the INFLIBNET Center. But in our universities, our authorities have approved to continue with all the existing resources to the benefits of faculty members and research scholars. Apart from this, we have received a recommendation from Dean's Students Welfare regarding the Scopus subscriptions and EBSCO and DELNET some subscriptions. So immediately I approached our authorities, immediately we got sanction, and also we have subscribed to the Scopus, EBSCO, indiastate.com, DELNET and other databases and e-resources. Apart from this year onwards, our Central Library, you subscribing Urban anti-plagiarism software, then authenticate from Turnitin commercial software to check the quality of research publications and theses and dissertations. And also I am happy and very proud to share with you, this is the third consecutive program organized by the library. So last February we organized one-day authors workshop on scholarly communications. Again, the March we organized the 2 days national conference for the innovative of library and information science. Nearly 225 people from across the country were participators. So this is the third program, so we are all expecting the same appreciation from you. And also, we have some future plans, not future plans, very shortly we are going to introduce some, already we have RFID technology, so very shortly, maybe we are going to implement book drop section for 24 hours return the books. And also, kiosk also we are going to implement for the self-issue, self-checking and self-return. And no need of any smart card, ID card from maybe from September onwards, because we are going to implement biometric system. If the user, they can put their thumb and they can avail the library facilities. by self-issue and self-payment. So these are the initiatives, everything, only because of magnanimity and generosity of our Honorable Vice Chancellor and respected registrars. So, in this happiest occasion, especially whenever I approached the Vice Chancellor and Registrar with any request, with any initiatives, it is suddenly approved by our respected Registrars. So, in this happiest occasion, I am happy to welcome our respected Registrar Madam for this one-day session. Welcome. And also I welcome Professor S. Nagarajan, Dean, Students Welfare, Dean, Faculty of Science. He has many initiatives, he is the one and he asked the date, whatever you feasibility, you can fix the date. So immediately I got the approval from INFLIBNET and sponsoring this program also. On behalf of CUTN and Central Library, I welcome you, sir. And also I welcome Dr. Gopalakrishnan from Retired Librarian, Anna University. I see my one wisher. And also I welcome Dr. Tamil from the University Librarian, Gandhigam University. He is also the Library Advisory Committee member for the Central University of Tamil Nadu. Welcome, sir. And also I welcome all the teaching staff members, professors, associate professors, assistant professors, and administrative staff. So without your support, is anything not possible to do here. So on behalf of Central Library, I welcome all the teaching faculties, non-teaching faculties, and administrative staff. Welcome to all, sir. I also welcome all various library professionals. I think from some professionals from EIT University, University of Madras, then Mengiar Medical University, CMC, some other Bharatidas and Bharatiyar universities. On behalf of Central Library, I welcome all the LIS professionals for this. Enjoy your one day here in CUTN Library. Welcome you all, sir. Apart from this, I welcome all the research scholars, students of Central University of Tamil Nadu, and also on behalf of CUTN, I welcome all the resource providers like EBSCO, IEEE, INFLIBNET, Palani Import, like Globe Publication, some World Scientific. So on behalf of CUTN, I welcome all the resource providers for this wonderful user awareness program. As a librarian of the Central University, it is my pleasure and duty to facilitate all the e-resources to the user communities. So we expecting your support and coordination for organizing, for providing, for facilitating the services as well as this type of programs. So we expect your cooperation, support in future also. So once again, I welcome Honor for this one-day user awareness program. Thank you.
Now I request Dr. S. Dhananandan to honor our respected registrar with short. Thank you, sir. Professor S. Ravi to honor Shri Ashok Kumar Rai, Scientist Dean, INFLIBNET Center with Shaman. I request Dr. S. Dhananandan to honor Professor S. Nagaraj. With Shaman.
I have learned many things, especially in the research part. So I want to thank Dr. Gopalakrishnan, retired librarian, Anna University. I request our respected registrar to honor Dr. S. Gopalakrishnan, sir.
This gives me immense pleasure, sir. Thanks for coming to CUTN. Thanks for visiting our Central Library. And all your advices are solicited.
Opening remark, I would like to greatly acknowledge the tremendous efforts, tireless and conscientious and continuous all attention focused by our beloved and distinguished registrar, who made this conference hall ready for organizing this program. This is the first program organized in this auditorium, library auditorium. It was not ready, but because of our distinguished registrar's efforts, everything in a magical manner, things have come to a reality. We, the CUTN fraternity, very much delighted and so grateful and acknowledge the yeoman services rendered by our most distinguished and honorable registrar ma'am, who is behind this function, and this hall exclusively for the library. First time, this is the first function, our first program being organized, which will be always enshrined, engraved in the annals of the CUTN library as well as CUTN. The program, this is a one-day user awareness program on access to e-resources. E-resources is the order of day. Libraries have gone tremendous changes right from its inception. Even the great Rabindranath Tagore, he said that where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic wars, by all means, he envisioned a world where knowledge is free and open for empowering human progress and prospects. This is the day where you are all empowered with knowledge, that too free and open access. Though it is available in plenty, the thing is how to filter them, how to cater them, how to retrieve them, what is the right information, which are all the puff or which are all the fake information. That is a very challenging task. That's why we have invited people of the big, even we can say they are the very big entrepreneurs and even technocrats. The entire library profession now depends in their hands, rather it is not much to say about. They are the INFLIBNET, it's a UGC initiative, Information and Library Network. Then Sri Ashok Kumar Roy is very well with us. Amidst all his schedule, he is with us to deliberate on the government services rendered by INFLIBNET. Then EBSCO, this is another giant in the field, and it will be presented by Sri Stanley Manigandan. And another is IEEE. You are all very familiar with these databases and service providers, and which will be represented by Sri Manjunath and Pramod. Then comes World Scientific, which will be represented by Jnana Guru Swami. And in the afternoon session, we will be having Elsevier, represented by Shiksha Gupta. Then Balani Infotech, represented by Mr. Kiran. Then Springer by Ms. Alpana Sarwal. Then Skyfinder by Mr. Anand Singh. Techniques Books International by Mr. Varun Barwanda. Then Global Publication by Mr. Srijit. All are very big giants in the field, and they are very resourceful with a lot of e-resources, both books, journals and other e-theses, e-dissertations. This program is quite vital and befitting today because the research is accelerated in this university by the able and dynamic leadership of our most distinguished Vice Chancellor, Honorable Professor A.P. Dash. And you people are the research scholars are added every year after year. And for all your research, you have to depend on these sources. The library, which is always open, we are welcome you all for this program and make use of this program very well, and it will be a wonderful program with a lot of potentialities. At the day end, you will know how much you learn, and maybe you are in your portion of without direction. This program will give you the right direction to sail with your research, be it your postgraduate study or MPhil or PhD, even for the faculty members, for their publications, how to patent, all information will be provided. Thanks for the opportunity given. Wish you a very fruitful program. Once again, I greatly acknowledge and appreciate the response from our own CUTN fraternities. Even after closing the registration, many have expressed their willingness to come, and we have welcomed all. Because of the limitation of the seats, and we are little bit hesitating, but even then we extend an open invitation. Come, please come and enjoy and enlighten yourself, and it will be off throughout your life. This program will create a cascading effect. You will be always happy with this program. With this hope, I am concluding the thematic address. Thank you.
For relatively brief us about the workshop. Before inviting Honorable Registrar Ma'am to deliver the inaugural address, let me tell few words about her. Honorable Registrar is a reputed educator and researcher in the field of computer science. She has published more than 52 international articles in high-reviewed and peer-reviewed journals with high impact factor. She is very active in the field and most sought person to be invited as a speaker and to chair the sessions for national and international conferences. She is one of the academic researchers who pioneered industrial academic linkages. May I now request our dynamic and untiring registrar Ma'am to deliver her inaugural address.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Dean Students Welfare, Dean Academics, Deans of the various schools, heads of the departments, research scholars of various departments, faculty friends, students of the various departments, guests, dignitaries from various institutions in and around Tamil Nadu, and all my friends. So this gives me immense pleasure to invite you all to such a kind of a remarkable program, what you call as one-day user awareness program on access to e-resources, convened and conducted by Dhanavandan, Professor Ravi of Central Library and Department of Library and Information Sciences. And I should mention here that this is a fully sponsored program, which was sponsored by various service providers and various organizations, and the funds are being poured inside by them with all their support. So the support at the most we could just extend to them is making this hall arrange. But anyway, that gives me immense pleasure that Central Library now is having an exclusive conference, workshop, seminar hall for its exclusive use, and some more works are pending, but anyway we have to do the good things, right, with good people. Usually there is a saying, good thing starts with good people. So with all the words of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, we have just made it done and it's now on board. And to which I should say a few words about the Central Library too. The Central Library is a signature building, the physical appearance of which was remarkably designed, and with all of the references, the design of the Central Library was given. And this happened to be the signature building of Central University of Tamil Nadu. And this Central Library not do host the Central Library, but in addition to that, we have the Department of Library and Information Sciences also, which is being hosted here. The department is also running in a full-fledged manner. And the admission for the Department of Library and Information Sciences this year is full almost. I think it's full. Is that not so? Yes, it is full. And which gives us a very active, what you call as an encouragement. And this sort of an encouragement tries us, makes us on the track more to run over. So the kind of the encouragement which is being given, right, starting from the admission to the next levels, make us to work and think about more. And to the way in which, to the momentum in which the people are thinking, action has to be there. But I should never, or I will never say that whatever is being taught is immediately implemented, because I have all my own constraints, my office do have my own constraints. So with all of that officially, whatever could be done to the best. Whatever could be done to the best, we are doing it in time. We want it to be done in time. So by the way, I am very glad to say about that. The Central Library and the Department of Library and Information Sciences are marching in the very exact way, the very exact path, in the right path, and that too with all of the supporters, with all of the well-wishers, and with all of the encouragement with the learned people. Not to say more about this, because this is a one-day program. It is entirely packed with many of the resources and people are waiting for you to just pour about all the resources and information to you. I request our faculty, our guests, our students, our research scholars to cherish about whatever the knowledge is being enlightened today. So with the help of which you can also have all the exact kind of what you wanted to be tapped right from the library resources. So with these words, I wish you all a very great thing to happen today and a very pleasant stay today in CUTN Central Library. Thank you so much.
Thank you for passing with us. I would like to invite Professor S. Nagarajan, Dean Student Welfare, Central University of Tamil Nadu, to offer the felicitation.
It is my pleasure to be a part of this event. I appreciate the Department of Library Science, the Central Library, Dr. Dhananandan, Dr. Ravi, for all their initiatives. So he recently conducted a program for research scholars, really appreciated by all the scholars. And this program, as Madam mentioned, is a sponsored program. Really, we have to conduct many programs for our scholars as well as research students. So those days, library is a kind of a storeroom with many books and other things. Now the scenario has totally changed. So with e-sources or e-resources. So though e-resources, he is constantly sending email, this facility is available in the library, that facility is available. But we need to know how to use it 100%. So for that, this is an awareness program. So I appreciate the whole team for organizing this event. And as Dr. Ravi mentioned, the university, our madam as well as our ITC are kind enough to provide a Dropbox facility as well as online self-checking, self-checkout, and many facilities are going to come in the library. And as a Dean Student Welfare, I am continuously writing to him for many things. So he's doing this, doing all those things. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I wish the library as well as the Library Science Department to have many events like this. Thank you very much.
I feel honored and privileged to introduce to you today's Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Ashok Kumar Rai, Scientist D from INFLIBNET Center. Mr. Ashok Kumar Rai is working as a Scientist D, Computer Science at the INFLIBNET Center since May 2018. Prior to joining the INFLIBNET Center, Gandhinagar, he has worked as a webmaster in IIT Delhi. Mr. Rai has 20 plus years experience. Mr. Rai is holding the responsibilities of ESOP Sindhu Consortium for Higher Education Electronic Resources, Access Management and Web Services at the center. Now I would like to invite Shri Ashok Kumar Rai to give an intro about ESOP.
Good morning to all of you, all the dignitary and the dais, all the participants, researchers, teachers. So, I really wanted to know what you came here to join this program, what you are going to learn here. Access to e-resources. Now everyone is talking about digital India, e-resources, e-content, e-management, e-MPA, e-education, a lot of things are there. So, we are going to discuss specifically consortia, so the Sindhu Consortia for Higher Education Electronic Resources. So we will discuss in detail in the post-inaugural session. But I want to see, as an INFLIBNET center, so we are doing all our services, we are providing all our services to the nation through digital only. All our services are web-based. So you need not to go to INFLIBNET Center to get the information about the INFLIBNET Center. So we have started in 1991 as a project model. Why INFLIBNET Center? How this center evolved? So basically, in 9th plan period, government thought, let us have. There is no data about how many universities are automated, how to share e-resources, how to share knowledge between amongst all the resources. So our center started in 1990 with objective that let us build a union catalog of all university and automation of Indian University Library. When you talk about the digital library, digital initiative, you have to have an automatic library management system. So in the year 2000, we have developed this whole software widely used by the many. So we started with library management system, then come into the this called Indian catalog. Indian catalog, basically we are having a decentralized database where all e-books, e-journals subscribed to all the universities in the country. We've taken the data from all universities of the country and put on the database and we provide search and browse interface. What is the great advantage of this? See, early days when you say a researcher joins an institute as a research faculty, a researcher, the first work they start literature survey. They used to go here and there, university, that university to get the basically information whether that particular content is available in which university. So, see, our Indian catalog now facilitates all the students across the globe. Those who really want to know which are the books available in which university, they need not to go anywhere. They can simply go to the Indian catalog website and they can search, they can find where it is available. So you can imagine that this saves lots of time to the researcher. Not only time, it saves money also. Suppose say Central University of Tamil Nadu is a student going to Chennai University to see whether this book is available or not. They need not to go. They have to travel either by train or by bus, spend money and get the information. Nowadays, for that purpose, you need not to go anywhere. Just go to our website, and that is publicly open. There is no need to pay any charges. That is only for for all students from the globe. So, Indian catalog, one of the initiative we have started, and more than 1 crore data is available, and that all data are from the university. So basically, you take the data from university libraries and put the central server and search it. So Indian catalog is one of the best thing you can say nowadays when literature survey or anything else. That is our primary. Next thing we started in early 2000, you can say 2003 onward, we started consortium providing connectivity to the university and then providing e-content to the university. Earlier the name was UGC INFLIBNET Digital Library Consortia that provide access to e-content to all the participating universities and institutions in the country. Prior to that, INFLIBNET centers provide connectivity, internet connectivity with association with the BSNL to all universities in the country. Then slowly we started this another program development of e-content. Now everybody is talking about the e-content, e-journal, e-book, e-education. So next 5 to 10 years, you may find there are lots of courses are running online. So students need not to go anywhere to study when in university. So MOOCs already started, e-content development already in place. And there are so many courses this year onward running online. So UGC also have a regulation where suppose a student joins a program, they can take at least 2 to 3 credit courses online. And the MOOCs is already facilitating this. So there are huge changes in the next 10-20 years. So you'll find that all education are online. So e-content, what I mean to say is all the services of the INFLIBNET center is for the all academic institutions in the country. And we are doing, so for everything, e-content, e-books, e-journals, some program we are providing access to all the university. Very recently, we are also participating in the university ranking. So we are supporting to Indian ranking framework, and I think you know, everybody knows the institute ranking. And we also have some other programs that like we have done the data analyst, data, open data system. So what I'm trying to say is now there is no, basically you can say information is flowing across that. So basically every student can access that information. Now information is not a problem now because those students who want to administer. In consortium model, we are providing 31 lakhs books to the student researchers. 31 lakhs books. More than 10,000 e-journals. Imagine how much, this is a kind of digital library. So we will discuss this e-consortia basically is not open to every institution in the country earlier, but in the year 2018, MHRD has merged 3 consortia. One is UGC INFONET, another is Industrial ICT Consortium, and that is called as a e-sourcing program. So we will discuss this in detail. So what basically, INFLIBNET Center is providing information to all academic institutions in different. We have set up a Indian Sensitization e-source Ganga program where you can have 1 lakh, more than 2 lakhs thesis submitted on in the university in open access. You can have full text access to thesis submitted in various universities without any login, ID and password. So these are the information already available. So that is why this user awareness program is, because you may not be knowing that all are available freely. So these are the, basically some initiative by INFLIBNET Center for Academic Communities. So we will discuss about e-source Ganga program in detail after post-semester. So thank you very much, and I hope that you will get something to learn and take away from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashok. Now I would like to invite you another personality on the dais, Dr. K. Illavalagan sir. Dr. K. Illavalagan, he is currently working as a librarian, Chief Knowledge Officer, IIM Trichy. He has more than 25 years of experience. He has served as a library, IT manager and operations manager in the British Deputy High Commission, British Council Division, Chennai. He received Best Contribution Award from British Council, India. He received the prestigious 50 Most Impactful Knowledge Management Professionals citation from Global Knowledge Management Congress. He received Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Best Librarian Award for the year 2016. Recently, he received Global Knowledge Management Award from the World HRD Congress. With this brief introduction, I would like to request Dr. K. Illavalagan to kindly present keynote address.
Rest of the university, respected Dean, Adult Professor Dr. Ravi, respected faculties, deans from various schools, friends, my dear friend Dr. Dhanavanthan, my old friends, Gopalakrishnan, Tamil Chandran, and Dr. Ashok Rai from INFLIBNET, from other universities, other colleges, other streams, and friends from the publishing industry. Very good morning. I think Dhanavanthan has given already an indication that I should not speak more than 10 minutes. And generally, when we talk about the inaugural address, at least we have to give 10-20 minutes. We are already overshooting. That's why I tried to close my remarks by 10 minutes. If I overshoot, then probably someone has to raise their hand that your time is over, then I will stop it. Right. Whenever you start any program, you have to think before attending, because we are investing time, 8 hours, At least if it is a one-day program, we are investing our own time, which we cannot get back. Similarly, the institute also spending a lot of money, resources. It also expects something from you, or from the academic community, or the community. So what is that actually it is going to help us? At the end of the day, what I want to gain? What is that I can get? We don't have anything to attend this program. These are the questions has to be answered. At the end of the day, I am sure that you will get more benefit out. Because whenever program organized by Ganavardhan, there never be a fancy title. So I was wondering why he is not actually talking about these titles or fancy or trendy. If you ask me to organize a program, then obviously it will be something about artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, maybe how the library is actually performing in the knowledge society. So we are actually projecting all these things on the future. But if you see whatever the programs he organized, last 7 years I have been observing that the programs which he organized, the title seems to be very obviously, it is very pretty ordinary. But if you see that impact created on these things, it's extremely good and enormous. I think probably this is one such a kind of program going to create enormous potential. It is really going to help us. It's going to be an eye-opener for many of us, because most of us thinking that e-resources is available everywhere, I can access it. Today, accessing is not an issue. In the digital world, accessing anything is not an easy. It's easy, but what I need is I'm not able to get on time. That is the problem. Availability. Again, there is an issue. It looks like you are getting all these things, it is available. When you go exactly what you need, you won't get it. It is not available. So this is where actually the program is going to give an answer to you. Alright, let me just see why we need to actually aware of all these existing resources or subscribe-based institutions. One is if you see the institutions which have the infrastructure, large collections. It may be a subscription or it may be actually a perpetual access. Unfortunately, those academic institutions which have a large library buildings with huge racks and bookses with human resources, technology, they are not able to attract the number of students into the library. Most of the libraries are vacant or the footfalls are almost big. On the other hand, if you go to the small village library, they can able to actually fill the place, almost all the places. Some of the libraries we cannot even actually get place to sit. There you don't have infrastructure, there you don't have the facility, but in a village library you are able to bring the people. Why not an academic library cannot bring it? Because you have infrastructure, you have the well-educated people, you have the programs, all these things. But in spite of all these things, most of the academic institutions fail to bring the students inside the library. So there is a gap actually. Probably at the end of the day you will understand why it is. One of the reasons the footfall come down could be, we are all actually thinking on the future. We never bother about today's. We are worried about what is happening tomorrow. What is happening today, what I need. Most of us actually forget. That is the main reason we have mushroom of engineering colleges. We actually produce engineering graduates or maybe graduates in other disciplines. Unfortunately, if you see that the employment, it's almost kind of 10 to 20%. 80% of the students, they have the graduation degrees. Unfortunately, they are not able to get an employment. Where is the problem? Is the problem with the student, problem with the method of delivery, or there is an infrastructure issue, or there is a lack of facility or lack of quality in teaching or methodology? There is some issues. So we need to understand all those things. On the other side, government actually pouring money. For example, if you take last year, 2017, Government of India has almost spent 80,000 crores for the education sector alone. It's no more education sector, education becoming an industry. The reason is we are actually paid, because the moment you start paying, whether directly or indirectly, because indirectly in the sense you are paying the tax for the government, you expect every penny has to be repaid properly. We never actually bother those things. We come and get degree and then push it. We never realize what is available with us. We never exploit the situation, what is available. For example, the institute which actually spent 1.5 crores, we may not know how much of money we actually access those informations. It spent 1.5 crores, expected that the research has to go out and the teaching methodology has to be good, or the delivery method has to be improved, student intake and then understanding has to be improved. But what is happening, all these things are happening or not, we are not very sure. So something has to be checked at the grassroots level. How do we do that? First thing, unless you get confidence. When you get confidence, when you are actually reading. When you start reading, when you have a question, when you actually have a systematic understanding of the knowledge. When you have a systematic understanding of knowledge, when you go to the classroom. When you actually pay more attention. But what is happening, most of our attention are gone to the social media and other digital gadgets. We are spending a lot of time. At least in a day, a student needs 27.5 hours, not 24 hours. And out of 27.5 hours he needs, almost 70 to 80% of the time he is spending guilty leisure materials. Maybe on the social media, which is not at all going to be relevant for his life or career. But he spends a lot of time on all these things. Probably you have to take a vote saying that 2 years or 3 years. From now onwards, I will focus where I have to stand on the next 5 years. As a student, getting degree is not my issue. Getting degree is anything is possible. Today you need not go to the college, need not go to the universities to get the degree. There are a lot of open learning institutions available where you can get it. What is the corporate of the excited world is expecting? The skill set they are actually looking for it. How do I improve my skill set? How do I actually sharpen my skill set? What is exactly I can able to deliver when I go for the real-time world? That actually probably you have to need. For that you need a confidence on the domain knowledge. Unless you have the confidence on the domain knowledge, you cannot perform yourself. So if I really need the confidence on the domain knowledge, then I have to be thorough on my domain knowledge. How do I be on thorough on my domain knowledge? That I have to start using the resources which is available with me. After 3 years, I may not have the facility, I may not have access to these resources which is available 1.5 crores. Tomorrow when I go out of this university, the university may not allow me to access these things. You may argue that there are materials available freely where I can able to get it, but I am not, again not very sure whether those information are quality, authentic, legally you are using it. There are information available, all those information, but you are not actually using ethical way of accessing those information. So you have to use this as long as you are in the universities. You try to use as a student, exploit the situation, understand exactly how it is, and you yourself make expert on the particular area. Then probably you gain confidence. Once if you get the confidence, automatically your other skill set will come together. When you go out, you can actually shine. This is the simplest way of doing well. On the other hand, the researcher, we do research. If you see that actually ranking, whenever these electronic devices or electronic channel, print journal, flashes the news about the ranking of the university across the globe, unfortunately, none of the Indian universities is listed on the top 200. Not even top 100, top 200, including Indian Institute of Science. Once it came 977. After that, there is nothing. Now, why it is happening? There are a lot of Indian universities. India is the one country which has the maximum or largest education system in the world. We have got almost 800 plus universities, higher education universities, or institutions, plus almost 45,000 degree colleges and 12,000 standalone institutions which offer degrees and diplomas, and almost 3 crore students who are actually doing higher education. But in spite of all these things, we are not able to produce global laureates. A small country which is able to produce more number of patents, the patent has been converted into business, the business has been converted into money, and the money goes to their own people, and they actually go. There is no poverty in the country. Whereas we have, this is the most youngest country in the world. Whereas other places, the countries are actually starving young people. And this is going to be the human capital, young human capital. And India is the country which is going to supply the young people to outside world. For instance, Japan, there is no people. Europe, there is no young people. In fact, if people actually hiring the students for 2 days, weekends, the younger people have been hired by the elder people just for the conversation. And there is no people actually viable. Whereas on the other hand, India has the potential of 50% of young people. But unfortunately, we are not skilled people. And we are supposed to be work in the outside world. What do we do now? So this is a system. So obviously, we are not taking the research as the research. We take research only for 2 ways. One, to get the degree, and other to career development. Actual research, what is it says? The research output has to help the community and the country directly or indirectly, and the institution as well as you. But unfortunately, what is happening? Whatever the research we produce, we are not able to actually convert it into business or money or at least service to the community. There actually probably the researcher who works in the academic institution think about very seriously how I can be able to solve the common man's problem. For example, we are actually starving water, we don't have electricity, we don't have energy for certain things. What do we do now? We are actually moving towards artificial intelligence. A lot of jobs going to be cut. Next 3 years, at least 5 lakhs jobs going to be cut. across the globe. So what are we going to do? Are we prepared ourselves? What research I have to do? For instance, I can just tell you the impact, how it is going to be serious. Now we are talking about artificial intelligence. We don't want the car drivers to drive the car or the train or airplane. Machine can able to do all these things. What happened to the skill set? People who have the driving skill set. People actually are going to produce more number of electric cars. What happened to the electrical, or what happened to the petrol pumps? The people who are actually manufacturing millions of small nuts and bolts, what happened to the jobs? We never thought about the next level, what is going to happen next if this artificial intelligence or automation coming on the place. We are not prepared ourselves. Probably the research, people who do research, think about on those lines, which has to research output has to actually help the common man problem directly and indirectly. It has to enhance the potential of India. Then probably we can able to showcase ourselves. India as one of the best countries where we have the pride of the Indian education at least 10,000 years back, the Nalanda and then other universities. But we lost in spite of the higher education system. And other thing, the academician. Just I want to tell certain things for the academician. Academician thinking that once they come to the institutions, after they getting the offer, probably they think that they can actually start teaching what they teach. Understand the students are very smart today. They are actually coming well prepared with you than you are coming with them. So how do you tackle them? What is the methodology? Don't actually go for that theoretical method which is outdated. Don't go for the experimental method which is again actually outdated. You have to take them real-time situation. How actually you stimulate the student? What exactly going to happen in this situation? How do you handle it? Because students need to understand, solve the problem outside world. So you have to prepare yourself. How do I prepare yourself? So you have to tell your students, before they come to the class, don't teach anything to them. Let them actually study. You just sit with them, converse with them, understand exactly how they identify the issue and make them to clear it. Instead of you are not able to clear it, ask others to do that. That collaborative learning is missing here. That is why there is a huge difference between Indian teaching and then the foreign teaching. Most of the foreign teaching never allow the theoretical based teaching or experimental teaching. It is more than that. It actually allows the student collaborate themselves, understand the concept, express, make it, work on it, find out their own solution and come back to the teacher on the flipped classroom or Google Classroom, identify the solution and the teacher can small modification. So the teacher has to actually enhance the potential, deliver in different methodology. Again, I want to tell you the educators. The curriculum what we have designed, the National Education Policy which is designed in 1950s is almost outdated. The latest National Education Policy which is designed in 2016 is focusing only on 3 areas. India has a huge potential. Unemployability inevitable. So what do we do? So India actually, the education policy is actually focusing on one important area is entrepreneurship. Don't expect employment. You create an employment. Try to make people as an entrepreneur. You create business and start actually serve people. So you have to think so. The national policy actually focusing on certain areas, but the only thing is the educator who works actually at the very top level and policy framing. Think about the curriculum. They have to revisit it and actually tailor-made what is essential for the future for the country as well as the community. Then probably it is going to be meaningful. At the end of the day, I am sure that this program is going to deliver what we expect. With this, I would like to once again thank Dhananandan, the University of Bari,
for enlightening us through your speech. Finally, to conclude the inaugural session, I would like to deliver the vote of the thanks. I am very much thankful to our Vice Chancellor and Registrar Ma'am for the continuous support and advices which have greatly helped towards the successful organization of this workshop. I would like to convey my deep regards and hearty thanks to our chief guests for spending their valuable time and excellence for us. I convey thanks to all distinguished participants who have come from busy schedule to attend this workshop. I am sure that the participants must have benefited by attending the workshop. I am thankful to all the publishers and vendors for giving us the opportunity to hold this workshop at CUTN. I am also thankful to CUTN administration in general for providing us with all possible logistic support towards organizing this event. Now the most important, my special and hearty thanks to my library team for their support, dedication, teamwork and untiring efforts. We all worked together shoulder to shoulder to make this workshop successful. I once again thank everyone whose contribution has made this workshop a successful workshop. Thank you one and all. I request all of you to please join with us for high tea which is arranged outside of this hall. After high tea, I request you all please assemble here for technical session. Please take 10 minutes only for the high tea because we want to start the session.
Only this tree itself show you what are the major activities. Library automation, Shoal, Indian catalog, providing e-content to the university, and then the social initiatives. Then we started e-Sodh Ganga program, that is the repository of Indian thesis and dissertation, and that is our open access basically. Indian thesis and dissertation basically is open access, available to every citizen across the globe. Anybody can go and download. See, if you want to know what are the thesis submitted in a particular university, you can go and you can search. You can download the full text thesis. So that all are available. Just you need to. So there are other university open journals. I say data set PG Parsala, where you can find the e-content developed for PG level student. Then Swam Prabha, nowadays the ministry has started this e-content course on the television network. So you can study on television also. Same lecture, you can study on the various faculty from various institutions on the television. Right? So Swam provides Swam basically a books program. See, Swam is a massive online courses. So students can enroll in the course and they can get some credit and finally they can get their degree from any institution. Many universities are now running Swam courses. That is a regulation issued by the UGC that any student who enroll in any university they can have at least 2-3 subjects online. And he study online, he submit their assignment, evaluated, and finally credit goes to your mark sheet. Right? Finally. So that SWAM is another program. We are also part of India ranking, university ranking. So we are doing something, all technology work in the India ranking. So in a way, you can say it's all services. We have repository of Indian thesis and dissertation. We have repository of synopsis, basically research being done by the research scholars. So Sodh Ganga and Sodh Gangotri. Sodh Ganga is basically full text collection of thesis. You can download the thesis. For that, you need not to do anything. So no logging, nothing. You go and download complete thesis submitted in the different university. What is the benefit out of that? Suppose a researcher want to see the content early days, it was not available to any researcher. Now it is available to everybody. The student from any location, whether from rural area, abroad, any location, you can download the full text thesis. Currently, we have more than 2 lakhs full text thesis available on this e-Sodh Ganga program. So for seeing a thesis, even you need not to go anywhere. You can go to the e-Sodh Ganga program and you can download. So e-Sodh Ganga program is thesis submitted in various universities. Institutions are now mandatory to submit their thesis on this portal. So currently we are having more than 2 lakhs approximately. Right now it is growing. So what you need to Indian catalog, basically what are the books available in different libraries in the university. So for that you need not to go to any university. You go to the portal, Indian catalog, search your name, author, you can find where this book is available. This also, you can search from, say, if you are a researcher from Tamil Nadu, they can restrict their search in Tamil Nadu. Right? So all information are available to all researcher, faculty, anybody, any citizen in the country. For that you need not to pay anything, you need not to win registration and all. So this is major activity in broader sense. Our services are all online. So INFLIBNET provides services online to every academic institution, every citizen in the country. Right? Next. Now coming to this e-Source Sindhu program, access to scholarly content. This is scholarly content. This is not open access type of thing. So we subscribe scholarly content from publisher and provide access to those institutions who are member of this consortium, right? So this is the issue of consortium of higher education electronics resources. Till last year it was centrally funded, but this year onward this is completely non-completely centrally funded. So concept that which I will discuss later next. So basically this is access to e-content. Basically 3 consortia merged into one, called ISO-Sindhu. The UGC started in 2003, then the Indes AICT consortia started in 2004, and this program basically is a digital library for college students. The analyst program is not available for the university students because university is already part of the other consortia ISO-Sindhu. Analyst is basically focused to colleges in India, right? So under this analyst program, there are more than 31 lakhs books available to the member institution. Those who have enrolled that and they are getting access to resources. So all the books, journals are available online, right? Next. So basically, we have a website of all ISO-Sindhu program. You can have all the details. Who are the members? Suppose you want to know who are the member of this consortia. Go to this member. Go to the member. Next. So this is basically portal where you will have all the information, updated information. No need to even ask anybody, right? Suppose Central University Tamil Nadu is member of this. What are the resources available to Central University or Tamil Nadu? You can go to the member, you can search your name. What are the resources that Central University Tamil Nadu is having? Or any institution having, they can have the information. So currently 91 CFDI centrally funded technical institution, 217 university, 108 technical engineering colleges, 3,000 colleges, 10,000 plus journals are available, 31 lakhs books are available to the users, right? And 20 resources and 4 databases currently we have. Next. So these all are publisher resources. You can find all the list of resources available. What are the available in this? What are the, these all are this publisher. We have invited all the publisher to demonstrate how to use this your product, the resources. So they will separately tell you the resources. This is all. So till 17, most of the institutions are getting centrally funded. Now in year 2018, there is a change in model proposed by the majority. Next. So this year only these are the basically resources and database here we have negotiated and providing centrally. 17 resources we are providing central to the those who have submitted their requirement online. Next. So not only that, this year basically model has changed. That basically this is not central. So we have opened the portal where we taken the requirement from the institution. What are the resources you are planning to subscribe during 2018? Based on the data submitted by the institution, we negotiate with publisher and the negotiated rate communicated to the institution so that they subscribe and get access. So by doing this, they will get a negotiated rate. So that is the kind of rate that is acceptable to all the institutions. So we have the rate of negotiation 85 plus resources negotiated are available. Right? So the list are already there on the website. All the lists are available on the website. You can review them. Just I put some important thing. Next. So this is the ESS or OES. This is a portal, online requisition portal, where you have to go and you have to log in. If you are not having login credential, you have to register first. You have to take the user ID password so that you can get access into the details. Next. So now everybody knows that the access of e-resources is somewhere restricted to the IP based access, right? It is not, publisher don't allow you the user ID password based access. So most of the cases is based on the IP. IP means you need not to fill user ID password. So access is on the IP of the institution network. So any computer plugged into that computer, they will have that computer automatically give you full text access of any publisher. So now problem is, suppose a student researcher out of the campus, suppose from 10 to 4 he is on the campus, they can access the resources. But most of the cases, many of the cases, many faculty students go out of the campus, but they still want to even refer the subscribe content. Then how they will do? So that is the challenge we are facing last 10-15 years. Resources that you paid for, you will say for example, but they are not, that is not accessible from your home or any location. Suppose researchers want to access that content, how they access that? So we have set up the INFLIBNET mechanism in Federation where user from any institution, those who become a member of in Federation, I think Central University of Tamil Nadu already member of this Federation. So Central University of Tamil Nadu can get access of their resources irrespective of location. And from any location you can have the access. And now we have subscribed the resources from various publishers. So when you talk to the ministry always, what are the uses of these resources? So earlier days we used to take the data from the publisher and then compile and put the analysis and putting forward to the funding agency or any management. So we have developed that is a byproduct of our consortium. In stack basically, using this platform, you can see the usage of your institution. What are the usage of resources that you are getting that you will use this INFLIBNET, right? INFLIBNET portal we have developed for this purpose so that the subscription from any institution they can log into the system and they can monitor their usage. INFLIBNET is a kind of off-campus access mechanism. Many institutions buy any product, say remote they have some agent proxy and paying some subscription charge also. But joining INFLIBNET, they can get the access of e-resources from any location. Today you are here, tomorrow go Chennai, Delhi, but still you want to get access to the resources that you subscribe, your institution subscribe, you can access from any location. And then we are using this discovery and you will say document delivery service also. So JGET we are using for document delivery service. I think JGET people is here to demonstrate how. This is very important. Suppose a researcher from Central University of Tamil Nadu searching their content, but he is not, that content is not subscribed. Then how he or she get the content? So using this document delivery platform, you can search if that content is available, subscribed by your institution, automatically you can download. If it is not, then this system itself tells where this article is available, which institution. Say for example, University of Madras may have that article, IIT Chennai may have that article. So this system itself tells you this content is available in this university or institution. So you can request that institution and they can give you the article. So this JGET plus you are using the document delivery service. Because the consortia does not provide complete all publisher access to every institution. No, there is a differential access of resources. Some institutions are getting 10 resources, some 20, some 17, some 15 like that. But using this document delivery service, you can have your article. If you are not subscribed, automatically send request goes to that particular institution and the librarian of that institution. We have a 26 ILN center. Or within the university, there are 26 library part of this. They are supplying the content to the users or any location. So this is the byproduct of, or you can say, our resources. See, ultimately, when you are subscribing content, definitely if you are not using them, there is no use. We are paying money to you, right? So INFLIBNET Center is trying to do this, basically solve this problem of access of campus community. Next. So when you log into the usage INFLIBNET system, you can generate different kind of reporting automatically, right? When you log in, what is the monthly usage of the particular subscribed content, right? In fact, you can monitor the usage of journal level. Suppose a collection has 2 journal, 5 journal, 20 journal package, you can monitor the usage at even title level using this. So this is the basically portal where you have to log into the system. We have already communicated all memories to the user ID password. So every institution has to see their usage, right? So student, researcher, library administrator of that university can have the monthly usage of all the resources. This is the basically no university see the usage of other university, right? So they can have the access of their own subscribe content. Next. So these are this type of report you will find after logging to the system. University of Delhi, January, what are the downloaded January, February, March, April, and total. You can generate different type of reporting through using this platform. Yeah? So you can generate automatically what are the data next. Similarly, monthly cumulative downloads. You can generate report like that. Right? So you need not to do anything. Already when you compile, you have to compile the whole data, then you have to prepare the chart. Now this is once you log in, you can click on that, you can generate it. If you want to download in any PDF format, anything, you can download it. Option is there. Copy, cut, CSV, like that. Every option is there. Right? Next. So in fact, basically, we are trying to basically solve the issue of off-campus access, right? Obviously, when the resource is accessible only limited to a campus, so a student must be in the campus to get access. Otherwise, many institutions, students go out of the campus. Even faculty reside out of the campus. But still want to access the resources. How they can access? That in fact, but if you join this, you can have the access of campus also. Next. So this is basically or in fact the federation platform. This is website. We have named it Parichya. Means we are basically what we are doing, we are authenticating users from different institutions and publisher allowing access. We are using technology serverless based. Serverless is open access model. Next. So basically how this works, suppose you are not subscriber of any resources. You directly go to the publisher website. The publisher, because you have not subscribed, publisher asks, you are from where? You are from where means you are from which institution? You can say, you can choose your, I am from India, I am from INFLIBNET member, and then this system automatically direct your institution IDP, and you put your login ID password and then publisher allows access. So this is a kind of automatic system where any researcher or student from any institution who join this federation, they can have the access of. The biggest advantage of this is single sign-on model. You need not to sign again and again for the resources that you are looking to access. Right? Once you sign in, all publishers allow access without signing. Next. So this is basically when you go directly, the publisher website automatically say few questions, then you go to our IDP and log into the system and you will get access. So we have done this because we are basically in between publisher and user. We have built the trust relations. We have followed all the protocol from the accessing of the campus access. Otherwise, publisher will not maintain all the users, ID and password. So we have taken all these and we are doing on behalf of our institution. But your institution had to be a member. Once you become a member, set up IDP and then every publisher allows this. So how it works, I already explained. Suppose a student goes publisher say you are from where, you go to institution tell, then automatic system tell you, give you your IDP and you log into the system and get access. Next. So this is a single sign-on model. So this single sign-on lots of advantages. You need not to worry about third-party type of thing, worry. Even remembering user ID, password, and so there are so many things. Minimal disclosure. See, you are maintaining your IDP. You are trying to disseminate the information whatever you want. Suppose you don't want to give publishers some detail, you can restrict on that. So that all are the benefit of single sign-on models. So currently there are 48 members already joined this INFLIBNET. The Central University is already on production server, but and all the publishers also join this federation. Right? So suppose you want to access IEEE or LJB or Springer from outside campus and go to the IEEE or Springer ask you are from where, you select INFLIBNET, then it will give you your IDP, you log in and put your login ID password and publisher allow access. So these many institutions are already member, and and most of the publishers now, those who are civil compliant have already signed on the board of this service provider. Next. So we are this INFLIBNET is also a member video game interfederation. So interfederation basically there are lots of benefit in joining the interfederation. Video game, member of video game means most of the publishers trust on our federation because we follow all the rules and regulations of interfederation. So we are member of interfederation. So in interfederation, suppose for example you have a added draw, you are member of it, you are doing some research collaborative some other university and resources are available at that consortia. So that way you can access both the resources using the, you are a member of interfederation. Next. So federation member can get finally the maximum services of your institution. Lower administration, you need not to administer anything, you can avoid the low cost involved into this. Same time, trustworthy, because this is a secure network, security. Service provider, even this is beneficial to the publisher also, service providers, because they will get more users, more institutions, right? Minimum cost, they need not to maintain anything. We have maintained that, so they will have the users, institution, and they get benefit out of that, right? Identity service provider, you need not to redo. Suppose your institution has any LDAP server, that same LDAP server can be integrated. Here, see, here I am talking how you can access your subscribed content off campus, basically outside the campus. This basically Parichaya give you a facility to access your resource off campus. On campus, no problem to any user because any computer plugged into the network, they can have the access. Right? Next. So India Federation, see, India is first. We are our INFLIBNET is first in India. We are already member of from India, right? Other are defected, and all production are available on the dark green, blue. Next. So there are many countries already in place. So federation is there, France, UK, US, Denmark, all are there. So we are also part of this federation. Next. So, basically I have explained that. Next. So, what is the impact? Impact means now you can say your resource anytime, anywhere. If you are a member of this federation, you can say accessing your resource anytime, anywhere. Before that, you are restricted into your network. Now, using this, members get off-campus access basically. Home institution can control identity search. That is already explained. Suppose you are maintaining your users, you can control on your user. So that way, suppose you want to disseminate whatever the information that approved by your institution. Who can join this? Any institution in the country can join this, right? Any institution, not only Central University. Anybody who want to subscribe the content on e-content formats, so they can join and they can get off-campus access, right? Even all publishers can join this. How to join? You can join, you have to fill a simple form, duly signed by your subscribed person and send back to us. Next. Forms are, this is a simple form, one-page form you have to fill. What is your college name, what is the mail, email, contact person and all. and fill that form and send it to us, and we start. But this is simple science. So there is some hardware software requirement to set up IDP. So minimum is all computer can also work to set up a IDP on your network. So you have to have a single machine on your network that is open globally, and it means static IP, only machine required and your user details are required. So it does not, some ports required to be open in your network, and this is not some, all are open source software basically using here, all are open, no need to buy any software for this. Right? So how to install? We have already go to the virtual website. How to install this IDP? It is stake-wise written on the portal. So you can use this stake and you can set up your IDP. Virtual.influent.ac.in is IDP. So this is the stake, basically stake-wise installation of IDP. Right? Next. Fiat payment to get service. No, we are not charging anything till now. Right? So no need, even you have to set, you are not charging anything from them even for it. Yes? No new business. Next. So basically, now question is who are using this off-campus model? We have set up a INFLIBNET also. Suppose your vice chancellor or your head of research want who are using this off-campus mechanism. They can track the off-campus mechanism using INFLIBNET statistics. That is online. Again, you will along with the system, you can manage and you can create the different graphs. Next. So you can get the publisher of usage. What are the publisher a user access through off-campus mode, right? So that we have basically we already created. You can monitor. Next. So basically, real-time statistic we can monitor. Publisher strategy, user. Who are the users from your issues? Suppose he is using their user ID password. That can be captured by the system and shown to the administrator. These number of students are using this. So we can graphical representation and all. This is all automatic. You need not to do it by yourself. So this system monitor who has logged into the system, what are the publisher resources they have access. That's all are available in this. Next. So different type of report you can get. Custom date range. Suppose you want to find a report from this table, you can find it out. Next. See who are the researchers, who are the faculty, what are the publisher resource people access. This all reporting is there on the INFLIBNET statistics portal. So this type of report you can generate automatically. Next. Even you can see every report you can download in CSV format or PDF format. Next. So publisher, what are the URL? You can add to your publisher. Suppose you want to add to monitor resources. Suppose tomorrow you add new resources. You can add that publisher to that. So you page that portal, then automatically you get the report of that publisher also. So you have all the features of this. Similarly, user. Who are the user? Accessing. So off-campus mode, you can monitor it. Next. So like we are monitoring IP, username, and some published resources. So this way you can monitor your off-campus usage. So basically, in that already said, this basically we use. In fact, basically what increases the usage of resources. Because this facility, this point you off-campus access, so this will increase the usage, and when the usage increases, definitely your research productivity may increase, right? So joining that, you can next is our analyst model. Analyst user. Basically, we have set up a proxy server. Using that proxy, they are using. They are not part of this basically issues event model. We have already set up for them for the exclusive of the college users. Right? Next. JGate, I think JGate people is here to demonstrate how because we are talking about delivery services. I have a interlibrary loan services. We are monitoring using JGate Plus. More details, informatics people will demonstrate you, right? So this is the interface where you can search your keyword article. This system basically tell you where this content. If the system itself tell you is this content looking your subscribe by your university. If yes, you can click and you can download. Even if you not subscribe by your university, you can say send the request to IRS service. So request go to wherever that content is available, and that thing of that is download in print format, download, get Xerox. Next. So I am going fast because I can take it in 2 hours. So 2.5 hours I can basically to tell everything. So what I am telling is this year onward, this new model basically that already explained to all of you. E-source Sindhu basically negotiate the rate of subscription and student has to pay the subscription charge and get access. So that is last year we did this online survey. What are the resources? Even ministry sent letter to 50,000 institutions in the country. 50,000. 50,000 all the institutions in the country. Requesting them, those institutions who wish to subscribe e-resources means any journal, books like that, submit their requirement at the portal and being a government portal. And last year people submitted their requirement and based on that submitted requirement, ESS bargain is publisher and take the rate of subscription. Right? So 2018 or this new model basically is every institution has to pay the subscription charge. E-source in to give you the rate, fair lower rate of subscription. Right? Portal, website, you can see that. No need to even write down and all our real-time data is available on the website. So this central this CNTU those in getting these many resources through e-sources. Next. Already they are getting 90, year 2017 they are getting large number of e-resources, but due to new model there is a limitation in getting as a resources. So in context of this usage of CNTU download in this 2016-18, you can have this all the resources that they are getting. So I can say fairly good. These resources they have downloaded. Databases what they are. NMEs this year is not available. So last year, this is the statistics of the. Basically, this can be seen from the INFLIBNET portal, right? So administrator of any institution can log into the portal and they will get access. So that you can generate the analysis report, comparative year-wise usage download and comparison. So engaging the. That's all. If you have any question, especially because you have a limitation in time, so you are free to ask. Any question?
We come to understand the gamut of work which you are doing for us. The next, I would like to call Sri Standing Manigandan from
myself is Manigandan. I'm from EBSCO. This is like a split session. First, it's kind of a demonstration session. We know like how to access in EBSCO. Okay, it's an online database package. We know basic things. Apart from that, there's some value-added options are that most of us will miss at the time of accessing this EBSCO database. And the second session will be handling by Stanley, my business manager. He will talk about details and everything about the discovery, EBSCO discovery platform. Okay. So as far as today's session, your institution is subscribing to this academic search ultimate. This is a multidisciplinary platform. and this is like a brief training agenda, like okay, a little bit information about the EBSCO company and how to access the database. We know like how to access the database. Okay, it's just like accessing in a Google search engine, right? Whatever the keyword which comes into your mind, we straight away enter into this basic search field, and it will give you the result, right? Apart from that, the information which we are getting from Google or Wikipedia, it not only give you the exact result, it also give you some garbages where we'll waste our time to select all those things to identify whether this is exactly up for my research or any author oriented. Okay, so to reduce that, options are available in the database like basic and advanced search strategies are there. Okay. Moreover, while we are trying a search in a Google, the information which we are getting may not be an authenticated one because there is no scrutinization process. The information may not be audited well. Okay. But when you come into this premium databases or premium packages, everything is come apart after this so-called peer-reviewed process. Okay. So next to that, you have these alert options. Okay, there are two types of alert options on that, like journal alert as well as search alert. Normally, what we do when we are accessing the database after getting the result, we will concentrate on our work. Meanwhile, we forget about the database. There will be a user gap between the user and the database. Okay, so say for example, if you are looking for information to any keyword, after getting the information at the time when you are not accessing the database, that keyword or that information may update it periodically. Okay, so how to get those information without accessing this database? So options are there. So we shall see like how to set those alert options. Okay. Apart from that, folder option is available. This is like creating your personal folder for saving the articles or information which you retrieved from the database, which will avoid to get when you are get back to the database. You need not to read and search again to get that particular information. Rather, you can straight away go to this folder option and you can be able to access the saved articles or saved information. Okay. And the last thing, questions and feedback. If you have any questions. Both the EBSCO Information Company, it's a leading provider of research databases, e-journals, subscription magazines and all everything, and been partnered with the libraries for more than 70 years. And this PPT will be shared with you after the session is complete. I will hand over this PPT to the librarian. Kindly get access to the librarian and get access to the PPT also. Okay. And some advantages of having this EBSCO database, you can access it like 24 hours into 365 days. Not only in PC mode. First of all, I have to tell you that this database which you are accessing is based on IP subscription. You cannot able to access outside the campus. Within campus, you can able to access anywhere, anytime. Apart from that, if you really you need to access it outside, you have this mobile compatible accessing facility is there. Okay, so I will give you the instruction like how to install those apps and all, and how to activate this authentication key. So after that, like 6 months, you have able to access this database outside the campus in Android devices as well as iPad devices. Okay, and you have this cited references available for majority of the peer-reviewed journals, and you can not only able to get the result, you can able to set search alert that I have explained you earlier. Okay, the two alerts, journal alerts and the search alert. And the last thing, okay, there is no cost for if you really need to export the article from the database or you need to download the article. Okay, and these are some of the subjects which covered by this EBSCO database. And this is the package information that 10,000 plus active full text journal is there. Out of that, 9,000 plus titles are peer reviewed, and you have 67,000 of video material that you can able to access. Okay, and the footage is available from the year 1930. Apart from that, you have 5,000 plus out of that full text journal, which are indexed in indexing and abstract service like science, web of science, and scholars index. Okay. And when we start talking about this journal, some of the next slides which will show you some of the prominent journals. The best example is like Science Journal, which is coming from this that is American Association for the Advancement of Sciences. Most of the journals in the EBSCO database having, according to this, high metrics journals are there. Okay, like hygiene factor and this impact factor journals are available. Next slides also will show you similar prominent journals which are included in the databases. Okay, so this is the URL. Just kindly note it on the URL, search.ebscohost.com. So straight away paste this URL to the browser address bar, not in the Google search engine. You have to paste the URL in the browser address bar. So now we're going for this live demo. Okay, search.ebscohost.com. Okay. After entering the URL, it will automatically direct you to this database choosing page. Okay. Just select this EBSCO Research database. Okay. Once you select, it will guide you to this search area. Here you can able to choose the database packages. Two packages are available. One is the main package, Academic Search Ultimate, and another one is Library and Information Science Source, which deals with the library profession. You have full text journal like 400 plus full text journals are available, and also it deals with subjects like classification, cataloging, bibliometric study, indexing. So these kind of articles that you can able to get from this Library and Information Science. Okay. So if you want to get the result from both of the two databases, just kindly go to this select area, just check the box and give continue. So it will give the result from both the databases. Okay, just give the continue. Okay. So since time is also limited, so I will focus on the major areas, important areas. Like so. Say for example, this is a basic search field, like how you were searching a Google search engine. In the same way, you can enter any sort of keywords. Okay, so any sort of journal name or any author name that you can able to directly enter in this basic search. Okay, so say for example, if I am belonging to some chemistry department or a student or a faculty, if I am interested in getting articles related to chemical reaction. Okay, so just enter the key term. Okay, chemical reactions. Just give a search. The moment you enter the search, it will give you the results. Okay, so on the result page, you have limiters and expanders are available, which will further narrow down your result area. So based on the keyword that you are entering, the result will be displayed. So in order, if you need to arrange it, rearrange it like newest date or oldest date, you have this drop down function here. Okay, so select accordingly as per your wish, and as you can see, the results are like 48,000 plus results are there. Okay, most of the articles available in both PDF format as well as full text format. Okay, so now the first result itself is getting from the Science magazine, the prominent journal that we discussed before, and it's from the year 2000. Recent article. It's a recent article. Next to that, prior to accessing the database and everything, I just suggest you to create a personal sign-in so that you can able to access some of the options available in the EBSCO. Okay, so once you give your mail ID, so it's easy for the database to contact you or provide you the information, the so-called the search alert or the journal alert that I mentioned earlier. Okay. So for that, just select the sign-in option. So like it's a usual one, like how you are creating a Gmail account by giving your first name, second name, the same thing you have to follow. Just select the sign-in option here. Okay. Once you select, even if I wish to finish it quickly, I think internet won't allow. Okay, so it's came. I'm already having my username and login. Okay, so this is the link to create a new account. Okay, just select the sign in. Once you select, your name will appear on the right side of the top corner. This area. Okay, so your name already came. Now, setting a search alert. Okay, we enter the keyword chemical reaction. Okay, so if you want to get the updated information while you are not accessing the database, just straight away go to this share option, select the share option and select the email alert. Once you select, it will ask the email ID, which the database need to send the information. Either it may be yours or your friend, and select the periodicity. So according to that, the date you need to get the updation, and just save the alert. So once anything updated during the will automatically send to your mail ID. Okay. Now just come on the left side area. So the result is coming from the year 1936. Okay, you have year slider either to ascend the year or descend the year to reduce the result, like narrowing down. So all the result is not only coming from the journals, it also coming from magazines, state publications, articles. So if you want to limit it accordingly, you have this source type limiter. This goes with also the thesaurus term, same synonyms terms. Okay, so like out of the chemical reaction, the product item we enter, the articles deals with chemical process, you have 2 rows and plus. So likewise, you have to limit the result accordingly. That goes with subject, publication, that is the journal title, publisher, company, and other limiters also. Okay. So if your result contain any images that you can able to access on the right side of the result page. Same wise, if you have any video option there, select this video by selecting this view all option. One thing you have to remember, you cannot able to download the video because of copyright issue. Okay, so to alternate that, the entire video, okay, the speech, the dialogue, the whatever discussion happening in the video, you can download as a script. Okay, not only you can download, you can straight away email the script, you can straight away print it also. Okay, and if you want to, while watching the video, if you want to just move forward or backward, no need to use this slider to here in this direction. Say for example, if the line is the video is on this line, okay, this line will actually act as a hyperlink. Okay, so if you want to move or jump, instead of going for the slide, you can just select that line. Okay, so automatically video will jump to that particular line. Now come to the result area. Okay, for getting the detailed information of the article, just select the article, main title, hyperlink title. Once you select, it will show the bibliographic information of that article, like who are the authors, the keywords, the journal name, the publisher detail, and all everything. And I told you earlier that most of the articles are available in both HTML as well as PDF format, right? So PDF format is the default format which we cannot able to change or edit. Just we can save it, we can read it online. Okay. So what is this advantages of viewing the article in HTML format? Say for example, if you are referring an article in any other language, most of the articles are available from many European and Asian languages. So if you want to refer that particular article, in HTML format, you have translate option is there. Okay, just choose the language and select translate, so it will automatically translate the entire article. And moreover, in HTML format, you can literally able to listen that article. Okay, by selecting the para or entire article, go to this listen option, select the play button, it will automatically read it for you. Meanwhile, you can also change the voice accent also, like American accent or British accent or Australian accent. Okay, so far these are basic search, right? So for advanced search, which I told you about, say for example, these are the advanced search field area. Okay, guided style fields are there. This is for getting a precise search. Okay, so for the keyword enter chemical reaction, it shows like thousands of results. So same, it will go for if I am interested in getting information for Internet of Things. Okay, so it will give you thousands of results. So out of that, if I am very particular about the data semantization, okay, so need not to go and search the entire result to look whether that particular article is available or not. So in that time, you can use this advanced search. Okay, and as most of you here are librarians and the IT professionals, we know about this Boolean operators and or not operators. Okay, we can actually use this to filter the research. Okay, we call it as a search strategy. So if you want to have a focused search out of these thousands and thousands of results, you can actually go for this AND operator. Instead of that, if you want a broader result, you can go for this OR operator. Same wise, if you want to filter any information which is not relevant to you, you have this NOT operator. So those operators are available on each field. Okay, so when you select, you have this AND or NOT operator. On the right side you have field options. Okay, so how this will work, I will show you. Like as I told you, I need to get the information about Internet of Things, right? So in that I am very particular about data summarization. Okay, so pick a right keyword. So I am just picking the keyword whatever I told. Okay. Now Internet of Things. Okay, now I am doing a focused search. So for that I am just leaving this AND operator as it is. And these field options, so how to use it? If you are entered keywords, okay, if it should be available in the title of the article itself, go to this field option and select title. Accordingly, if you know about the author detail, enter the author detail and go for this author option. Okay, now just give a search. Okay, there's a spelling mistake. Okay, so instead of going for thousands and thousands of results to identify the particular word, you can actually use this main title. Okay, so any doubts so far?
What languages are supported in the original format? What all languages are supported? You said there is a lot of options for translate. What are the options for original? What all?
Okay.
Original text?
Can you assist in that?
Which all languages are there in the original text? I'm not talking about the translated versions.
Regional text doesn't have any of the local languages. Foreign language, you want to convert it to like into the foreign text, if you have got HTML function, it will convert. Like you can choose the option convert to English or Hindi or anything like that. You can translate. It doesn't support any of the regional languages.
No,
That's the original language.
I'm not talking about the regional languages. I'm talking about which all original text, which all languages is there. Is it only in English?
No, it's a global database. You will find Spanish, French, all that.
Okay, so just select the PDF link. Some of the options are available. Two options that I want to quote here. Okay, once you select the PDF link of that particular article, so you have multi options on the right side. If you want to save this article to your Google Drive or email, you have this Google Drive and email option, and you have print option just to print the bibliographical information of the particular article, including the citation style. And you have this citation style option is there. Once you select, it will give you a 9 different citation format, including this MLA format, APA format, Harvard, and Vancouver format also there. Just straight away copy this and paste it in your reference area. Apart from that, you have export option. If you want to export all the metadata of that article to in an Excel sheet format or any other bibliographical management software, you have export option, and you have this share option there. Nowadays, lots of people are creating research communities on online through social media, Facebook or WhatsApp. Okay, so if you select this permalink option, a permanent link will appear. Just paste the link and share it to any of the social medias by using this share option. Okay, so any doubts in accessing? Okay, so thank you very much. Now I'm handing over the another session to my colleague Stan.
So these examples are actually what you see is these actually empower the user. Like earlier, if you want to book a hotel room, you had to actually call up agents or the hotels individually. Now we have Make My Trip, where under one single website we can access everything. Like we have the access to all the hotels, what are the prices, what are the other facilities that they offer, etc. Similarly, nowadays libraries also have a lot of databases, a lot of resources. So how do you access all of them at once? Like you have got their IR, you have got their online resources, then you have got your print resources. So how do you access all of that at once? So when you can't do that, what we have is export discovery service. So this is exactly what happens. How do you access all this together? So this is actually what it gives you in the Google-like interface. So it creates a Google-like interface. It links all your library resources. That is your print resources, your online resources, your IR, and basically like ebooks also included. So this has got over like over 70,000 plus integrations across the world, and we are like close to 50 plus across India. I'll just show you. And what we have seen is a phenomenal increase in the usage because of the utility of these resources go high, because there is a lot of visibility to these resources. Like let's say there's a technical institute, they are already skewed towards using IEEE. But when you have discovery, you get relevant results from all databases and all resources. So that's typically a researcher spends like 10 minutes on a resource and they won't find anything, they jump to the next database, then next. So the searching goes on and the research doesn't happen. So when you have discovery, you get everything under one single platform. So I'll show you a couple of institutes that have already implemented discovery service. And like I said, I'll keep it in 5 minutes. Pondicherry University, Civil Office. This is one of the Kerala University. IIM Calcutta. JNU is like one of our very first customers. So this is how it appears. Like you will have the books, journals, everything, and you filter it down. And then these are like it works on like subject indexes. It gives you actually more accurate results based on the metadata that is there in the subject indexes. And this is mobile accessible. You can access it outside also. And yeah, that's pretty much everything about discovery that I was able to explain in the 5 minutes. There's actually 1 hour PPT that I did in 5 minutes. Any questions? Thank you. I'm handing over the mic to the IEEE.
Along with my colleague Manjunath. It's not audible.
Hello.
Yeah. So quickly, I will run you through a small presentation which will not take more than 5 minutes, because anyhow there will be user training. I will not get into the user part of it. There will be detailed user training on the resources which has been subscribed by CUTN library here. So I hope most of you, I'm not sure how many of you are aware about IEEE. I will not take much of this time. So IEEE is purely a technical organization. It's a not-for-profit organization having 134 years of professional experience in the technical space. Whatever we do, if there is no technical thing attached, we are not there. So we focus on many things, but predominantly focus on standards and technical resources. So today I'm going to talk about the technical resource which CUTN has subscribed to. So when I say standards, hundreds of standards like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, whatever we use today, there are IEEE standards. So our digital library comprises of the standards, conference proceedings, periodicals, transactions, and letters, and many more. So initially when IEEE was formed, it was only for electrical and electronics engineers, but today we are everywhere thanks to the size of automation. So we are everywhere, be it medical electronics or communication or computer, anything for that matter. We need automation everywhere. So coming back to the digital library which CUTN has subscribed, it's called IEEE Computer Society Digital Library. In IEEE there are 39 societies. So each society focuses on its own domain. Like for example, I represent IEEE Computer Society, wherein anything and everything related to computing and software, it's with CS. So when it comes to IEEE Computer Society Digital Library, this is the very first ever digital library came into existence in IEEE. So we have different flavors, we have different variants of digital library like ASPP, that is all society periodical packages. Then we have VOP, that comes with a partial package of conference proceedings. CSGL, which is which comes with 6 lakhs documents with conference proceedings, periodicals, transactions, and many more. And like I said, it comes with 6 lakhs plus documents. So here for the CUTN we have given unlimited access and unlimited downloads. So our motto is to encourage the research scholars and also the faculty and students to refer to more and more papers and come out with a lot of research activities. It is not just a referral material, it is to encourage the research activities. So throughout the world globally, IEEE stands #1 as far as the citations are concerned with respect to technology. So out of 10 patent applications, 9 are referred to IEEE resources. That is what the legacy we carry.
So when it comes to the content of CSGL, it comes with more than 45,000 magazine articles, 35,000 transactions, 33 magazines and transactions that is listed in next slide, over 300 conferences. In IEEE, we sponsor about 1,600 conferences worldwide. That means every day there will be 3 or 4 conferences going on across the world. So out of it, the technology topics or conferences handpicked for computer science and also the technology related thing, and there are about 300 conference proceedings. 300 conferences having more than 5 lakh conference proceedings are listed in CSGL. And when I was talking about the periodicals and transactions, there are about 33 periodicals and transactions. Along with the conference proceedings, you also get access to these, the resources. And like I was mentioning, very importantly, today, whatever conference is happening, like in the latest technology, be it IoT or blockchain or cyber security, machine learning, artificial intelligence, whatever it is, we have leading conferences going on across the world, and those conference proceedings are listed out in CSGL. You have access other resource people mentioned. There is also IP-based access. You can get access within your campus network, unlimited, seamless. And so when it comes to benefit, like I said, this can be accessed as a cross-platform and also browser-friendly platform. You can use your laptop or desktop or mobile phones to access it. And so the advantage is you get very first edition of our magazines. There is no backfile limitations, like we have different flavors or variants where we limit number of issues or number of periodicals and transactions. So here in CSGL there is no limitation as such. You can refer to back files, and so in CUTN we have 12 months access right from the date of enabling access. It's not Jan to December like the traditional way. And of course, this is one of the USP. You get unlimited access to all your faculties and employees, and this is to help to get abreast with the latest technology happening. Like I said, it is not only to have it as a reference material. It is to encourage all the faculty and students to to come out with more and more research activities. So when it comes to the access, like I was mentioning, your institute will have a link, and computer.org is one such, is the link where you can URL you can log into, and you can access all this content. And under the digital library, you have all other materials, whichever whatever I spoke about. So if you want to access the magazines, it is listed down. If you want to access the transaction are listed separately. You can directly go and pick up the topics, whatever you want to refer to. And there is also search option, be it text, whatever, title of the resource or author, anything you can search and refer to the articles. So this is all about CSGL. So I don't want to get into the user training here. So user training will be very detailed, and I think it will be scheduled very soon in your institute. So any more questions? Yeah, thank you very much.
Elsewhere is not available elsewhere. Let me request Ms. Shiksha Gupta to come and say.
Just a small correction. My name is Shikha Gupta, but that's okay. It's close enough. And I work as a customer consultant with LCBF. And I know we are rushing through the program today here, but I just want all of you to take a moment to give a big round of applause to Dr. Dhanavandan and Dr. Isikia, who have done an amazing job in putting this program together. I think it's a huge challenge to invite all of us here who have all these digital resources at your disposal now. And I'm very glad to be here. I'm from Delhi. I was born and brought up in Delhi. It's a big city, and this is my first visit here to Tiruvallur. And I'm amazed how far it is and how remote it is. And I'm so happy to be here to help you guys all to actually do your research more productively, more efficiently, and even though you're located in such a remote area, I think all these products that you are hearing about today can make a huge impact in the world. So I really want you to appreciate what you're seeing today, and I hope you use all of these products because you need it and we need you to make that impact. So thank you, Dr. Dhanavandan and Dr. Elsevier, to give me this opportunity to be here today. Before I joined Elsevier, actually, I was a researcher. I have a PhD, so I used to do this research. And today, I'm going to talk about an Elsevier's product, which is Scopus. So Scopus is actually the world's largest abstract and indexing database. I don't know if that means anything to you, but before I go into detail what you can use Scopus for, I want to know who am I talking to. So, just by a show of hands, how many faculty members are here? Great. How many PhD students and research fellows? Excellent. Big count. Are there any undergraduate students or master's students? Okay, fair number. So you're early here, and I hope you use this product early. And obviously, PhD students and faculty members are going to use this product as well. Have you, just again by a show of hands, how many have you heard of Scopus? Good number. I think almost 50% of you have heard of Scopus. How many have you used Scopus for other than looking at abstracts? Very small number. And that's what I'm here for. Even though Scopus is called the largest ANI database, it is not only a database. It is a much bigger tool. And before you go to other resources, EBSCO, Science Direct, SciFinder, you need to come to Scopus. Scopus is a research intelligence tool, and it will help you do your research intelligently. And that's what I'm here to show you how you can do that. So when you go start your project, or even if you're in the middle of your project, I think Scopus is something that you should visit at least once a week, if not every day, to see what you're doing in your research. Are you going on the right path? And if you're not, can you go down? What path should you take? You should have that conversation with your faculty member. You should have that conversation with your guide. Then are we doing this research correctly? Are we actually addressing the right questions? And Scopus will be your guide in deciding that. So I'm going to just jump. I'm not going to go into detail of what Scopus is, how many journals there are. All that information you can access on elsevier.com. But what you need to know is how to use Scopus. So I'm going to just jump right into the demo. So there are many ways to do this, but I think I will start from where I felt was the right place to go. And that would be, so it tells you, so you should first log in. Once you have, go to scopus.com. As you can see, you just have to type scopus.com and it will take you here. And then you should log in. If you have not registered, you should register and log in. Because that will help you save your searches, save your list, and you will not have to do this over and over again. The next place that I'm going to show you today, I'll go to the affiliation. So you can either search documents by title, you can also search authors by name, or you can search institutions by affiliations. And I'm going to start from affiliations, and there's a reason for that. Because I want to show you how the CUTN looks at the world map. How does world look at CUTN when they look into Scopus? If the internet would let me, okay. I just have to type CUTN and it should show me the university. There it is. There. that's the profile of the university, but it shows a little bit differently and it is coming up a little bit. Strength of the university and what is the weakness of the university. The university is relatively very new, so I think there are no weaknesses. There are departments that are upcoming and there are departments that are established. So I think chemistry and physics are two departments that are doing very well and they have published the highest number of publications. Whereas earth and planetary sciences, economics, psychology, they are still working their way above. But you have to appreciate one thing here. Not all disciplines are publication centric. So you cannot just go by a single metric. Every field is different. So you cannot compare chemistry with psychology or mathematics because mathematics and psychology might not be publication centric areas and that's why the publication may never match what you get publications in chemistry or life sciences. So you have to keep this qualitative inputs in mind while you're looking at the quantitative inputs here in Scopus. I'm going to click on chemistry just to show you what all you can do. And there are many ways to do this. You can go to this in different ways. So we see a lot of papers and now you can limit these. So I want to go to a publication that is well cited. And obviously, publications that are published in 2017 or 18 obviously will take more time and they will not have those many number of citations compared to published in 14 or 15. So I'm going to limit this to 2015. There. So we have these publications from 2015. No? Okay. I'm still going to just select this publication to see what it does and then it takes me. Here. So now it is showing me what are the metrics of this particular publications other than citations. We have seen that there are 12 citations, but there is something called a field-weighted citation impact, which also is a metric that you should keep in mind while you are citing other people's research or you are looking at other people's research. And what does it mean? It says 1.83. It means an average article in the field has a citation index of, if it has a citation index of 1, then this particular publication has a citation index of 1.83, which is almost twice the citation of an average publication in this field. So, if your citation index, the field-weighted citation index, is lower than 1, then that publication has a lesser impact than a publication that has a FWCI of 2 or greater than 2 or higher. So does that make sense? So you have to look at that metric, that whether when you're citing references and you have 2 papers that you want to decide which paper to cite, you might want to pick the one which has a higher FWCI. Other than that, we have something called as Plum X metrics. And you can go into detail once you click on this. So it will show you how impactful this research is. Has it been mentioned on social media? Are there tweets on this? What is the usage? Are there readers who are reading this? Are there readers who are citing this? Are there readers who have downloaded this via EBSCO or Mendeley? All this information will be here. So, this is what it tells you. So there are at least 69 times that the abstract has been viewed. There has been cross-references, there have been Mendeley readers. So all this gives you a sense of how good the publication is. And obviously science publications are rarely mentioned in social media because it is all covered with films. But there are publications that are very, very important and they do get cited on Twitter or on LinkedIn or on Facebook or even in the news. And all that impact is also captured here, which also gives you a sense of what is the societal impact of a publication. I'm going to go back and then I'm going to go to those publications that have actually cited this publication. So, like I had mentioned that there are 12 publications that have cited. So I'm going to go back to where it showed me that, and I have already selected this. As you can see, I'm going to go up and I'll say view cited by, which means it will show me all those 12 papers that have cited this publication. So all these 12 publications have cited this publication because the research is probably close to this publication. So now what I can do from here is I can find collaborators. I can find a publication that is very well cited. So, for instance, I'll click on this, which has 13 citations already, and it was only published in 2017. And then I can see, where is this publication from? This is from Poland, right? Now, is this similar to my research? And this is something a guide can ask or a PhD student can ask. Would this person be interested in collaborating with me? We all go to conferences, right? So they could be national conferences, they could be international conferences. That is the time when you should go into Scopus and see if there is a person who is visiting that conference who you would want to have a conversation with regarding how to collaborate with. Are there some experiments that you can do with somebody who is in the other part of the world but is still close enough to your research and you can collaborate with him? And look at the profile. The field-weighted citation impact is 2.67, which is very high. So imagine if Dr. Gopi or Dr. Kanivozi were to interact with the scientists, collaborate, what can come out of it? I'm going to show you another feature here. You can actually go and click on the author. So now it gives you another link to connect with the author and see what has this author done other than this publication. Because maybe it is a one-off publication. Maybe that person really does not work in the area and there is something else that is of major importance to that author. So there are 3 authors on that paper. You would want to do that. Sometimes a guide might not interact with a PhD student because of lack of time when you go to these conferences or even by emails. But a student might be able to interact with another student. So you might want to see and find out whether the person, the author on the paper, is it a postdoc? Is that person a student? Is that person a PI? So this person has an H index of 37. What is H index? So H index is a metric that is generally is for a set of documents. So essentially, whatever all publications he has published, which is a lot, 193, it means that that person has at least 37 publications which have been cited at least 37 times. At least 37 publications that have been cited at least 37 times. So, for instance, I'll make it simple. I have 7 publications. Some of them have been cited more than 50 times and some of them have been cited less than 10 times. My H index would be limited by the paper which has the least number of citations. So if one of my publication has only 1 citation, my H index will never exceed 1 unless that paper has a higher citation. Because that means that even though I have other 7 publications, the H index would be only 1 because that would mean that I have only 1 publication. I have at least 1 publication which has at least a citation of 1. And I would recommend that when you use H index, you have to be careful. You know, like I said, metrics can be misleading. So you always have to put them in context with the qualitative aspect of things. So if you're looking at an H index of an institution, you might not be getting the right number because there is a plateau effect here. So even this person, suppose he's published a new paper and that paper is not picked up in citations, the H index would go down. So you might want to look at further. Even if the H index is lower, you should look at what all publications a person has and how many publications have a citation of higher, say more than 15 or more than 50, whatever you're interested in. So metrics are there to guide you, but you have to always think as to what you're using the metric for. Do not just use them blindly. That is what my suggestion is. And that is true for all statistical work that you read or you study or you come across with. You should not just take it on its face value. They are numbers, but there is a story behind the numbers, and you should always know what the story is if you want to use those metrics correctly in your research. So I've shown you how to look at author's profile. So you can further look at how many documents was he or she publishing over the number of years, how many citations, where the person is from, and then you can try and go to that university website and see if you can connect with the person if you're interested in looking at that person. There is another feature where you can look at the university itself. So it also has university profiles. And now you're not limited to only this researcher. Once you go back to the university profile, this brings us back full circle. Now you're back to where we started from. So we started from CUTN, and CUTN had a profile. What profile? I'll remind you, institutional profile has list of topics of research that are prominently done in that university. So now you know about that this university has all these topics, and this person must be in one of these topics. You click on that topic, and now you have access to other researchers in the same area. So even if that person is not of interest to you, suppose this publication is not connected to your research, but this university has other authors. So you can maybe try and see if there is an author that seems interesting enough with a higher FWCI of publications or a higher H index, and maybe you can connect with that person. And then you are not limited to just this university. Like I said, if you're going to a conference, if you're going to a national conference or international conference, do that. Spend some time. Prepare for that conference. That is how you can get the maximum value out of going to a conference. Networking is the best way you can have your research make the best impact in the world. You have to connect with people, you have to collaborate, and that is how research goes up. One person cannot solve all the problems in the world, but 2 or 3 might be able to solve a small problem that you might not be able to tackle by yourself. So do this. When you go back to your lab, spend 10-15 minutes. Look at your own profile. Look at your PI's profile. Look at a university that you feel is a competitor of your university. Look at a university you want to collaborate with. So PhD students who are looking for postdocs and master students who are looking to find an institution for PhD, this is your place to go. You have, when I was doing my research, when I was looking at where I wanted to do my PhD, I did not have Scopus. I had to individually figure out which university I wanted to go to, had to individually go to each of the university and figure out whether I wanted to apply there or not. So now you have this in one place. See where you're working, see which area you're working. There is one last thing. Okay, I still have time. So there are a couple more things that I can show you. I'm going to go back to search now, and I want to show you how you can guide your research and figure out whether you are doing the research, if your research is going in the right direction. Whether what you're doing is really interesting. Are other people interested in that kind of research? Is that kind of research making an impact in the world? Is it being cited? Are there other authors, other people who are also interested in what I'm interested in, what I'm thinking? So, I'm going to go to documents. So, when I was doing my postdoc, CRISPR had not come in at that point of time. And later on now, today, people who are in life sciences, I don't know how many there are, you might have heard of CRISPR, which is like RNAi, but much better. Basically, it edits out RNAs and can solve a lot of genetic related diseases. And that's supposed to be the next generation gene therapy that people are working towards. So, clearly it's a new topic. topic and it should be something that is popular. And how can we find that? I'm going to just type in CRISPR and do a search. And you can see there are thousands, 11,381 articles. I'm not going to select all of them. I'm going to limit this to say 2015. I would say limit to, so that I can see what the work that has been done in the past, where all it has been cited, and whether the citations are going up or are they going down. Because if something has been published in 2015, and if it is really a hot topic, then more and more people would be doing similar kind of research, and more you'll see it trending, right? So, actually I'm going to do one more thing, sorry. I'm going to go back. So, my area of research was neurodegenerative diseases, and one of those diseases, as you might know or might have heard of, is Huntington's. Huntington's is a genetic disorder where a part of your DNA expands. And so far there has been no cure, and in fact there has been it doesn't cure, and people have a very short life expectancy. You cannot even, what is the other word? So there is no cure, but there is no treatment either. That's the word. So I'm going to type, I want to see if CRISPR is being used in finding a treatment for Huntington's. So here, once I have done this CRISPR search, I can do a search within search. So I'm going to type Huntington's. And then see how many articles come up. How many people are working in CRISPR and Huntington's to find a cure. And I see only 211 documents, which is pretty good because there are still 211 documents on a very, very niche area of research. So just because CRISPR was 11,000 does not mean 211 is a small number. Again, look at the numbers, but always know what is the story behind those numbers. CRISPR is a very, very new technique, and it takes a little bit of time for people to pick up that technique and start using it, utilizing it in their research, and takes even more time for the research to be published. So 211 is not a small number for such a small niche topic. So now we're going to see whether it is trending or not. So since there are only 211 documents, we can do this. We can select all, and we do a view citation overview. You can only do this for 2,000 documents at a time. If there are more than 2,000 documents, then it will give you a citation overview of over 20,000, up to 20,000 documents, but not in a graph format. It will only give you a table, which you have to download later. It will send it to your email. There. So you see, it shows a graph of how this research is going. Now you have to ignore 2018 because it's only half a year, so you cannot compare it with the other years. But you can see that the graph is growing up, and that is what you want to see with your research. Is the kind of research that you're doing, is it trending? Is the word. Are people picking it up? Are there other authors working on it? Can you see the citations going up, or do you see it going down? If it is going down, then why is it going down? And is there something else? If you're early in your research, is there something else that you can work on the side as a project B that might be better? Maybe project A might not work out. Maybe it will work out, but the citations or the impact that it will have will not be that huge. So if you want to make a bigger impact, this tool can assist you, can help you, but you have to think it, and it can guide you do your research intelligently. So I'm going to leave you with that. I think there is a lot of information that I've already given. I have shown you how to access an institution profile. I've shown you how to access the topics that an institution is doing the research in. I've shown you how to access collaborators, how to find collaborators. I've shown you how to access their profiles, and lastly I've shown you how to find whether or not your research is trending and whether or not you're going in the right direction. Just one last thing I want to mention. In author's profile, you can check your profile and your PI's profile. The way Scopus works, it takes the author's profile that is connected to an institution. So if I worked at National Institute of Immunology for 5 years for my PhD, and I published 3 papers, and then I worked at IISc for 5 years and I published 2 papers, then Scopus will give me 2 profiles, because the Scopus doesn't know that Shikha Gupta from NII is the same as Shikha Gupta from IISc. So a person, that is why you need to have access to Scopus. That is why every institution should have access to Scopus, because now you have the power to connect that. And then you can go into your author's profile and you can merge the 2 profiles. And it will let you do that. And there is another alternative way, which is called an ORCID, which is ORCID. If you do a Google search, the first link that will come up will be that. You can create an ORCID, which essentially works as an Aadhaar card for researchers. Once you have an ORCID and you see 2 profiles for your same person, and you know that this is your profile and this is also your profile, you can link it to the same ORCID, because Scopus does take data from ORCID. And that is even simpler. So you can just connect it to the same number and all your publications will get merged. So do that as a homework, just to see how Scopus works for you. Look up your research. Look up another university working in the same area. At least do these 3 things and see if you get something out of it. And I assure you that it is a very intelligent product, and if you use it on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, it will really, you will not feel lost. So with that, I will just give my contact information, and if you have any questions, please feel free to write an email and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Yes, sir.
How Scopus classifies a paper? Just
There is a multidisciplinary area.
Can it come to physics, chemistry, math, like that?
No, sir. It will come only in multidisciplinary. If there are multiple, it is in the multiple fields, and it will come in multidisciplinary.
What I was saying is one is a physics paper, it just comes in chemistry. What are we saying?
Okay, so it is possible. If you want to switch the fields, I think the author can write to Scopus. So I'm not sure how the algorithm does that. There must be a reason why maybe there were physical elements that it picked up, because it's a keyword search, right? So it must have done a keyword search and would have been texted in physical chemistry. But if you feel that there is a paper that is in the wrong place, you can write to Scopus and we can fix that. So that is why we want you to have access to Scopus. Look at your profiles, see if everything looks okay to you, because the world sees this, right? So if there is a person who wants to collaborate with you but has that publication in the wrong area, might not be able to contact you. So please do that, spend some time before you go to Science Direct, Expo, SciFinder, get lost in the world of journals and papers, decide what you want to do and do it intelligently. So I'll leave you with that, and thanks for the time, and I'll